Sanchez, you know, I do have a life. You know, I got studies. I got things to do, Sanchez. Now I'm on live. Where you at? Somebody's on my live. Who that is? Who that? NBA is fixed. What up, bro? What happened? Man, Sanchez asked me to go live, so I went live. You know. I'm like, I'm here, big dog. What up? What's the emergency? What you want to talk about? We didn't cover everything in the NBA yesterday. I guess we didn't cover everything. Can't cover everything, can you? You know, you got to talk to Chris Broussard to cover everything. You're a female? Really? Are you really a female? Well, I guess you wouldn't joke about that. I'm so used to talking to guys when it comes to the NBA, but I am so sorry. So I hope I didn't offend. Okay, yeah, my bad, mid lady. I'm sorry. Shoot. What up, though? You an NBA fan? Or you just on here just to kick it with your boy? Some apples. Kicking it. You probably subbed because of why I left Atlanta. Okay. You here for some b-ball too? That would up. I ain't mad at you. LeBron, my favorite topic, everybody's favorite topic, because he's the best there is at what he does. He's a Wolverine. He is the Wolverine of the NBA. And, you know, just like to chop it up about big LeBron. Went to school with my brothers. Went to high school with my brothers. When my dad married, you know, his wife was their children, so they're not my blood brothers. But one of them did play for Michigan. He is well known in the A. And yeah, that's what's up. So, you know what? You're a sub, right? You know, the whole time I thought you was a dude. I was like, yo, bro, ham, meat and cheese, lift some weights. You're like a woman. And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. My lives are interesting. You know, I mean, okay, let me ask you this. You know, what lives do you like best? Like when I'm talking about the NBA, like which ones do you gravitate towards? Because I will cater lives to you know, I try to cater them to the audience, but sometimes I just go off on a tangent and just do a live just because, you know, just because I feel like it, because I'm old and I don't care. But, you know, if you want a particular live, I got my glasses on because I was doing my studies. But if you want something particular to talk about, you know, I actually research stuff too. So if you want something researched, you know, I will go ahead and research it. It may take me a little while. NBA. There you go. We got BLE in the house. I guess into that word. All right. Okay. I ain't nobody's angel, but I get into, you know, when people say they ain't nobody's angel, I'm like, I don't think people really realize what they're talking about when they say, you know, oh, my child is such an angel. It's just like, you might want to be careful with that because, because they got some good and some bad over there. You might want to be careful because when God wants to destroy something, God sends an angel to do it. And, I'm very careful when talking to and about them because they are huge. Every now and then I'll have a dream about them. They scare the heck out of me. Nothing I want to be up against. Nothing. Because they don't look nothing like we depict them. I've seen a bunch of different ones. And we got this whole fairy tale idea that they, for one, look like white people. And they just float out of the sky. They float down, and then they touch our foreheads while we're sleeping. No. He was once the. He was the angel. Very powerful archangel. Minister of music. He was upset at God. He had a large following. 1/3 of the angels. We're not talking about a basketball stadium full of people or full of angels. We're talking about 1/3 of the masters who built the universe. When God said, let us, in the book of Genesis, make man in our image, who do you think he was talking to? He was talking to the angels. Let us. You know what I'm saying? What's interesting is you start reading the book of Maccabees and the book of life, book of death, and get past the Bible. You'll start seeing where some of these angels are actually located. A lot of people think that, all the angels live in hell, all the evil ones. It's just like, no. They're, the Bible clearly says the heavenlies. So there's more than one heaven. And the angel, he is in one of them. I mean, the devil is in a heaven. There are 3 of them. He's not sitting in a burning hell. He's a master of that place, but he's not sitting in a burning hell. He's in heaven chilling in a lounge chair. You know what I'm saying? So we have a terrible depiction made up by songsters and, people with, just saying all kind of stuff that just isn't true and filling your head with stories like Santa Claus. But there are some angels that are locked up. And, people seem to think that they're locked. Some of them are locked up like in the Middle East. And, they found some interesting areas that, people that live there have warned them, do not go into these areas because there's angels that are locked up here. And I'm recently just hearing about this. And the way I look at it is, why wouldn't they be there? This place didn't belong to us from the beginning. It belonged to them from the beginning. And if you look at the Nephilim and the Rephaim and the Imen and all those other large giants and creatures and, that roamed this planet and walked upon the stones of fire, which are all the other planets, you kind of realize that it's highly possible that these creatures are still walking around and flying around, but we just don't see them. And when you read the Bible and you take some things literally, like you're supposed to, you start seeing the world differently and you start thinking, okay, the world isn't one spinning ball going 66 million miles an hour in a circle around this huge, other ball of light. That's not what's happening. And the Bible clearly says that the earth is stationary. The Bible says that the earth does not move. Yeah, I know he's not here, but I'm talking to you. What you if Sanchez was here, we'd be talking about basketball, but you like the Bible stuff, so talking, not unless you want to talk about basketball. I'm just talking. So we can talk about whatever you want to talk about. Because you know me, I'll dip, I'll just keep going, and you'll be like, I really don't want to talk about that. So, what's your status? You live in the West Coast, you live in the Midwest, and where you at? What do you do? You play ball for a living? Like, you play football for a living? Like, what do you, you know what I'm saying? Were you a quarterback for the Giants? They need a quarterback. You should go out for quarterback for the Giants because they really need one. Because that Manning boy sucks. Got 2 rings, though. Yeah, what do you do? Like, what do you do? What's your nationality? Where you from? How you doing? Oh. Excuse me. I don't know about Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not Trinidadian, so I am unworthy to speak of such things. Oh, I see how we are. Oh, you don't know how Trinidadian. Of course, they don't speak like that. It's like the English. You are not Trinidadian, so you cannot speak on such things. It's like, no, I'm not Trinidadian. But I like your athletes. I like the track athletes that come out of Trinidad and Tobago. So Kits and Nebers. You know what I'm saying? I watch track and field a lot, so I like the athletes that run for Trinidad and Tobago. I know that they are brothers, brothers and sisters from the 12 tribes. I know that much, Miss Lady. I haven't really had much conversations about Trinidad other than the stuff that you hear. Do they speak Patois? Patois. And yeah. Some of the music I've heard in Trinidad. What are you taking in school? You gonna be a nurse? Well, that's what everybody hears about Trinidad. So it's true. A lot of crime. And it's a shame too, because I would like to visit some of these countries, but I know I wouldn't make it out of the country. They'd let me in, they just wouldn't let me out. Take my ID and I would end up in a shoebox somewhere. So I think I'll stay here. Lots of crime. So how do you deal with it? Like, how do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you deal with the crime? Oh, but I'm not going to try. I appreciate your confidence, but I think I'm going to stay right here. I'll stay here. You know what I'm saying? when I'm not a chicken. But when I know that there's an area that has a high propensity to do me some type of physical harm, simply on the way that I look, I kind of stay away. I have to deal with it. What choice do I have? To leave the country, get a green card and a visa, a passport, and get the hell out of there. You must be very young. Let me guess, you're 17. You're between 17 and 20. Because you're very young. You're not young. You're very young. Very young is a teenager. Very, very young is a preteen. And too young to be talking to me without a parent is, like 7 or 8. It's like, what are you doing here? Yeah, I kind of knew it. 17. To make a statement like that, that's a very young thing to say. I've been doing this for a while. I can kind of look at some things and go, oh, okay, you're a young person. And that's fine. That's a beautiful thing. Not very many 17-year-olds carry a conversation with me, so it's refreshing and scary at the same time. It's not because of the law. It's because there's a huge age gap between us, so there's some things that you're into that I probably wouldn't understand. But nonetheless, it's not because of the law or something, but talking to women, period, is a scary thing nowadays because there's so many things in flux right now with just the female body that everyone is just really up in arms about. And then, when it comes to a certain age of man, woman, then people, oh, you're doing this and that to this person you've never seen before and spoke to live on your chat. It's just like everybody just jumps the gun. Like, oh, you're trying to, I've never seen this person. But they do that. People are so quick to just be judgmental over stuff that it's like, what the, you just can't talk to people anymore. And that's a shame because I think I'm old enough to say this. Back in my day, you talked to everyone. Like it was truly a neighborhood and nobody was all stupid. I mean, my kid sister would be talking to some old person just chatting it up and nobody's tripping. Try that now. Like my neighbor's kids, I had to go to my neighbor and tell my neighbor, please tell your kid to stop knocking on my door. And it's not because she's a bad kid. It's simply because of society. I don't want somebody saying anything wrong. So I was like, hey, can you tell your kid not to knock on my door anymore? Because I'm a grown-ass man and I don't want to hear nothing. And that's just a shame because she's a good kid. All her friends moved away and I'm always sitting on the porch, so she wanted to talk. And I'm like, there's nothing wrong with that. But the way people perceive it, I was like, I'm sorry, you can't knock on my door anymore. Not without your parents. Now, if your parents knocked on my door and you was with them, I get that. But this is America and people will put you in jail for assuming. So that's why I don't talk to teenagers much. It's because people are stupid. Nonetheless, 17, man, that's a lot going on. I mean, that's a lot. I would like to actually, look at your channel or something, or, you tell us about your country because, for one, they'll be like, yeah, they'll think it's inappropriate. And I'm just like, so we shouldn't talk to any. Like, you can't, like, I'm serious. Over here, it is very scary. Like, people really assume, and I'm single. I'm a single man. I live by myself. You are a monster if you're a single guy living by yourself and there's a kid around. Everyone assumes that, you're trying to Hansel and Gretel this kid and you're the wicked guy of the West. And it's like, I can't take you guys. I can't. I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just too old to understand this. But, kids talk to whoever and they should be allowed to, not unless that person has already done something that's heinous. But it's just like, I don't know what kind of world y'all want to live in. You want to have a total kid world and that they're in a plastic bubble, and in a total adult world where we're in a plastic bubble. I mean, if that's what you want to do, fine. I'm not going to do that. But, I like talking to kids, because I think they're fascinating. Some of the stuff they say is just completely out there. And I'm just like, oh, that's so beautiful that you have no recognition that you're saying something completely out there. And they just blurt it out. And it's just like, that's refreshing. I wish the next girl that, I dated was kind of like you, just actually say it instead of having me find out that she's crazy. I'd like to know she's crazy before I actually, hey, how you doing? You looking great today. I'm crazy. Thank you. Thank you very much. You just saved me a whole lot of money and time. Bye. Yeah, I'm crazy. I got 5 guns in my jacket and just want to let you know that. Anyway, so how you doing? Shoot. I was just passing by. Oh yeah, you get a lot. So okay, so you go to school. What do you want to be when you get out of school? I take it you're in high school. You run track because you guys got some fast people over there. You guys got a lot of crime, but you got some really fast. You Indians are fast. So you run track. You what do? You cheerlead. You're a scientist. What do you got going on? Spill the beans. Talk to the old guy. What's up? Somebody else join the live. What's happening? I'm talking to a young lady, and she is, just chatting it up. So if you guys want to join the chat, come on in. Maybe you guys are more experienced at talking to somebody this age. No, I'm preparing for exams next year. I'm preparing for exams next week. Okay, so the system, the education system you guys got is completely different than ours. So you say exams next year. Those exams, to my understanding, are so you can get into college. Well, we do that too. We have the SATs and stuff like that. So I think that's what you're studying for. It's your version of the SATs. Now, I'm curious do you guys follow APA and, MLA and stuff like that, American Standard, So the standard that you got, is it by your country standard or is it by the English, the European countries' standards? America, France, England. So I'm curious to that, how that goes. And once you get into college, like what do you want your profession to be? I guess that's kind of where I'm going with that. Like you take your exams, you get into college, you do your 3 years. Once you get out, you're going to be your country standards. Okay. So once you get out of college, you're going to be a phlebotomist. No, you're going to be a social worker. A politician. A police officer. Halt or I'll shoot. Huh. No, I don't get, no. The governor. Maybe the governor? Nah, no governor. No, I'm going to go back to school and study after. Okay, but what are you going to be? You're going to study for what? Just to study? Oh, you're going to be a lifetime student, kind of like me. Okay, that's your profession. You're going to be a lifetime student. Da, 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 da. Da, 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 da. What your mom and dad do? Your dad is a professional. Your dad's a cop. No? Let's see. Your mom is a hat maker. No, mom's not a hat maker. Your mom's a nurse. No level. Don't think you know what that is. No A levels. I don't think you know what that is. It's clear that I don't know much about your educational system. So for you to say you don't think I know what something is, you would be exactly correct. This is why I'm asking you. Like, eventually you get out of school, though. So that's why I'm like, what do you do with all that education? Okay, that's a better question. Once you get all your education together, you become what? A translator, a professional translator. How about that? I bet you speak 3 languages. You have your own language. You have English and then French, right? You speak French. I bet you do. I bet you speak about 4 languages. Plus you have different dialects in your country. Yeah, I bet you do. You guys were invaded by the English, weren't you? Patois. We go to school. We call it secondary school for 5 years, which is college to us. At the end of 5 years, we write an exam called, okay. And then after you're done with that exam, you become a social worker. No, maybe. A doctor. You guys are pretty smart. You guys, like, I mean, your education system is better than ours. You guys become doctors over there real quick, don't you? So do you run track? Hey, somebody else just joined. How you guys doing? I'm just talking to somebody who lives in another country, chilling out. If you want, you can do an A level, which is what I'm going to do. Okay, I rock on A level. Not sure what you're going to do after that, but whatever it is, I'm sure it's going to be fascinating. Or maybe you'll be a professional hula hooper. You guys got hula hoop over there? Or a volleyball player? No, maybe? No. Can you play volleyball? Are you tall? Are you tall for a woman? You guys got hula hoops. All right, now we're getting somewhere. Are you tall? So you're about, let me guess, you're 5'7". And you ran track and you ran the hurdles. That's a yes to what? You ran track and you ran the hurdles? Or you're 5'7", and you ran track and you ran the hurdles? I'm trying to picture you in my head. Boom! I am good. I am good. I don't even know why. But I have this picture of you in my head. Natural hair like mine, but not like mine. You're not as cool as me yet. You're too young to be cool like me. Or else you would have a flat top and everybody would call you strange. But I'm picturing you have natural hair, probably got a little ponytail or something back to about 5'7", chocolate. You probably about my complexion. Probably built like a racehorse too. Probably I bet you run to the store every day, don't you? Go to the store. Okay, mama. I'll take 2 peanut butter cookies. Thank you. Bing. Here's your peanut butter cookies, mama. I bet you faster than a mug. No running, huh? I feel bad for you. You just can't go out and play like a normal 17-year-old where you live? I think that's a damn shame. I pray the Lord your soul to keep, though. Why are people killing each other over there so much? No peanut butter cookies? You can't run to the store? That's sad. Same-sex groups? Like all girls, all guys? Or is it mixed groups? Who's attacking you guys? Like, what do they want? Uh, I didn't make pizza today. I'm making fish and potatoes. But hold on a second, Sanchez. Like, what do they? You go out and mix groups. What do they want when they attack? I mean, what do they want with you? Your money? What do they want? You to, break dance? I mean, what? Why are they doing stuff like that? Are there people your age attacking people, or are there older people attacking people? Huh. It's a very sad situation for a young lady. Young lady, Trinidad. She lives in Trinidad. She lives in Trinidad. Young lady lives in Trinidad, and there's a lot of attacks on people every day. Just it's a very dangerous country, and I've heard this before. And I've never spoken to anybody from Trinidad, and she subscribed because she likes to talk about the NBA, just like us, Sanchez. But for one, I thought she was a guy by her name, and turns out, she's a young lady who is, very smart, going to school, but she lives under, threat of her life every day. And it's just a sad situation. I just didn't know it was like that over there. I knew it was a little nuts, but kind of reminds me of the Boko Haram people over there in Nigeria. Yeah, it's a young lady. It's a more not even a woman yet. She's 17. Well, I guess that's a woman. Over here, people, who are in their 20s marry 17-year-olds, so that's a woman. They have children here, so. Oh, that's your real name. Okay, Fanny Borneo. I'm just so sad that you live under those conditions. Wait a minute. That's not a real Trinidadian name? Your name should be something totally different. They just they just named you some arbitrary name, just riding on the bus one day and just saw something crazy like, oh, this is what we're going to name her. Like, yo, Maz, what is it? You don't even know what it means? Like you ask your mama, Mama, what does my name mean? I bet you are. My sister's actual name is unique. Her middle name is unique. It means faith. Oh, well, there it is. A little faith. Gotta have a little faith. Gotta have faith. Who's your faith? Well, no, we're not going to do that because you're going to name somebody from Trinidad and Tobago, and I don't know any of those singers. Do you carry a gun? Do you like have weapons when you guys leave the house? Where's the UN at? Why isn't the UN doing something about that? Shoot, you need one. Damn. Maybe I'll build you an Iron Man suit. I might go down in the basement. I might got one in my closet somewhere. Yeah. So you don't have no, that's why. You don't have no leaders, do you? Dang. You stay with your parents? She's from Trinidad. Like, do you stay with your parents? Do you guys stay with a whole group of people? I mean, do you, like, does your village? Yeah, they do that. Yeah, you living in one of those situations. I think you live in a third or fourth world country, kind of like Mogadishu. Countries are usually ranked in five. So our country is, yeah, you live with your parents. Our country is a first world country here in America. You know, Mexico is, I think, is a second or third world country. Look it up. Pull it up on the map. It's a little small place. But with no leadership and, with a corrupt government, our government is corrupt too. There's people dying out here every day because of the government. But we got laws that they act like they're trying to uphold, but they don't. They only uphold them if they feel like it. People can walk outside and get their whole head torn off, and yeah, the police are killing people left and right out here. Mexico, Mexico is, no. Trinidad is not in Mexico. But it's an island, I think it is. I don't know. I don't know much about it. But yeah, Trump actually got these, white people thinking that it's okay to just, be racist. And then you have the people who, Venezuela. Okay, there it is. Then you have the white people who are fighting against the white people, and that's always a great thing to see. And it's the way it's always been since the Queen of England, and they fled from the Queen, and then they came over here, and then of course, took the land of the Indians and then killed all them, then killed a bunch of Mexicans, and, and then they had the slave trade, and that's how my family got here. But there's always been white people who do not like slaves. Yeah, that don't surprise me none. There's always been white people who were like, no, free the slaves, and then they had the Civil War, it's the bloodiest war on American soil, and there were a bunch of free slaves fighting in that war. They don't mention that, but she thinks it's going to be a sweep too, but I don't think it's going to be a sweep. Our first president was a black man. But you'll never hear, white people really acknowledge that. No, it was George Washington, and he crossed the river, and he had, wooden teeth, but he was nope. First president was a black man. Yeah. Yep, they were. 80 and several years ago. But the only thing about my family that's different is they didn't have hair as cool as mine. They didn't have cool hair. No, they were cool. But they were slaves. Huh? Yeah, you do that. Yeah. So, but I wish I knew how to say your name. Fanny? With the I in it, it's a long A. Fanny. Fane. Borneo. Sounds like a television show host. It's the Fane Borneo Show. I like it. Yeah. Well, Mama Son, you stay safe. I'm not leaving, but and anytime you want to chat it up, you hit me on YouTube. I'll chat it up with you. Fane. Okay. Yeah, because that's a long name. Fane Borneo. All right, I thought it was just your YouTube name. Anyways, Golden State ain't sweeping nobody because they would lose a lot of money if Golden State did. So you and Sanchez can take that to the bank, Fane. They're not sweeping nobody. And I would bet you a pizza if I could deliver it to you. But I can't. Somebody would eat it before it got to you. And I would be so sad that I bet and lost and bought you a pizza and somebody else ate the pizza. But I would bet you pizza because I think that they're not going to sweep anybody. Yeah. That's what they said last year when people thought TS was going to sweep Cavs. Yeah, they're not going to sweep anybody. That's a lot of money lost. It's not going to happen. So, do you play sports in school, Fane? Do you play basketball in school, Fane? You got a mad jump shot? See, when I played basketball, back in my day, when I played basketball, I sucked. The games aren't. Oh, Sanchez, you don't believe that. You don't believe that, not one bit. You do not believe that, Sanchez. Many finals have been sweeps. Yeah. What up, Legend 2K God? Phys ed classes is for 3 years, depending on the. That's a long doggone time, depending on the subject you choose for it. Jeez. Would you one more time post it again for this guy? He's talking about the best team wins. Do you think in 2016 that Cleveland was the best team? No. Cleveland wasn't the best team in 2016. No. Sanchez. That's what you get, Sanchez. Out of here with that. Wasn't the best team. I'm cooking salmon. Salmon and potatoes. Gonna be so good. Wow, your phys ed is for 3 years. Man. But can you run fast, though? Bet you can run like a deer, can't you, Fane? That's my girl. Oh. Cavs was not the best team in 2016. No, they weren't. They're not the best team. They got momentum at the right time. Oh, come on. Sanchez. My dad believes Houston will take it all. You tell your pops that he's going to be terribly mistaken. But that's what's up. If the NBA wasn't rigged, Michael Jordan, oh, here we go. We trying to get deep. We trying to get deep. We trying to get deep. You know what we going to do? Because that's exactly right. You know what I'm saying? That is exactly right. The Bulls would have lost one of those championships, probably a couple of them. So everything was set up for them to win. Michael Jordan was the poster boy at that time. There is no name bigger in sports when it comes to basketball than Michael Jordan. And as big as LeBron James is, he will never, ever, ever dwarf Michael Jordan's accomplishments as far as what he did. Okay. Do you know who Achilles was? Do you know who Achilles was? Anyways, Michael Jordan's accomplishment on and off the court. Oh, really? Will never be dwarfed. I mean, it just never will be. All of the endorsements. Michael Jordan was terrible at gambling. He loved to gamble. He had a lot of money, still does, has even more now. So he gambled. Gambled and he lost. Man, get out of here with that. Nobody act like Jordan was a scrub. Yeah, he was the number one scorer ever. I mean, as far as I'm concerned. You're talking about LeBron is bigger, faster, and shot better than Michael Jordan. When they put 3 points, back on my 28%. Okay. Look, boom, there you go. Get in. Get in. LeBron the GOAT all day. But what I was talking about was off of the court. Because of basketball and how he catapulted his career and then spread his name all over the world, with his outfits, with his endorsements, whatever, with his outfits, without Scotty Boy, you need to take that up with him. But, his outfits, his brand, Michael Jordan's brand is what I'm talking about. Michael Jordan's brand is bigger than why are you here? Like, nobody can take anything away from Michael Jordan's brand because it's an empire that's still going. Michael Jordan's brand did not slow down when he left the court, even when he bombed as a Washington Wizard. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't gone down. Now LeBron is doing the same thing. He's a branded player. And not everybody is branded. Not everybody is has brand ability. Let's take some people who don't have brand ability that will get like widespread brand ability because of the way they play. Charles Barkley. He did a few commercials. That's it. Green plays for Golden State. He doesn't have brand ability to me. You're just not going to get a lot out of that player. Steph Curry has brand ability. He is the face of Golden State. Kevin Durant, not so much. Russell Westbrook, no. I'm not a conspiracy guy. Yeah, I'm not a conspiracy guy. Yeah, there you go. Get at him, King. But Russell Westbrook, not a brand dude. LeBron, brand all day. And that's why he's making so much money. I mean, he's making 33 this year off of the league. And then you have to look at what he's doing outside. So he's making a colossal amount of money outside of the league. So there are some people who, Rolex is going to put their trust in. LeBron James can sell the heck out of a Rolex watch. Point blank. People like him. People want to be around him. Then people outside of, the NBA and other sports. One of the biggest names in sports is Usain Bolt. Usain Bolt no longer runs, but do you think that stops his endorsement money? He made $21 million a couple years ago in endorsements. I mean, you think that Puma is no longer going to sponsor Usain Bolt because he doesn't run anymore? No, they're still going to sponsor the fastest man ever. Because he's a very charming and very likable person. They love that guy. Usain Bolt is the only person who runs from another country that you actually want to see win. It's like he doesn't run for our country, but we don't like Justin Gatlin. So as an American, I'd rather see him win. Like, that's weird, isn't it? Like, I'd rather see Usain Bolt win. But nonetheless, so there are people who have brand ability, and there are people who just don't. They're just surly. They're not. I mean, Even if they have a shoe, they're just not going to reach the sales that other people who put themselves in a very brandable situation do. Michael Jordan is the king of brands. And then when he made his clothing line, that was it. People still buy Michael Jordan's clothing line. Pairing up with Nike, and they just went and made a huge amount of money. You guys are beating a dead horse. Faney, do you think that sports are fixed? Faney is the resident expert. Ask Faney, she knows. We're gonna make Faney president of the Faney's gonna be president of the NBA is Fixed Club. She's probably not on anymore. Miami losing to the Mavs that year is proof it's rigged. Shoot, the Mavs haven't been good in 5 years. When's the Mavs? The Mavs won it like 5 years ago, didn't it? Ew. What up, Ray Skater? My brother from another mother. I gotta be eating my fish out of the oven. You guys gonna be here when I get back? Because I know some of y'all will jet if I don't talk to y'all. Be about 5 minutes. Y'all gonna be all right? All right, don't bite each other's heads off. I know it, Skater. Skater, I know it. Oh, I'm telling Mom. I got the Rockets over the Warriors. I'll be right back. Yeah, Skater, I know it. Trying to beat up my team. What gonna do that? Something wrong with him, Skater. Something wrong with him. You ain't not coming. You know you ain't not coming. See, I ain't gonna tell nobody. hey, hey. Oh, worship the Lord. Government. Government cheese. I know you. Put money where our mouth is. Y'all on here going in. Y'all here going in on each other. Government cheese. Sanchez, I know you've been eating that government cheese, but you don't want to believe it. But yet you constantly on here talking about the NBA ain't fixed. You know what? You know what, Sanchez? Here's what I think. I think not only do you know that the NBA is fixed, but I think this is like I think you're like you get a rise out of arguing points that you know that you're wrong. I think it does something for you. It gives you some type of euphoric, like to be in battle. You know, I think that's what it does. Sanchez, for one, I bet you a pizza that the Spurs will win a game. So I'm not going to go homeless from a pizza. All right. That's for one. Two, I don't do a whole lot of betting. All right. I don't bet on these ridiculous games. And if I did, I'd be a rich man by now. But I have no desire to be rich. That's for somebody else. I'd rather be holy than rich. Have me a big booty wife. Squeeze out some of them babies. No, I'm too old for that. But glory to God, though. Oh, I'm good. I'm good, man, right there. Why would you be here? Why are you here? Why are you here? What is your purpose? All right, let's do this. How many people on here believe that the NBA is fixed? Right? That's true, you have. Which makes me curiouser and curiouser. Because you've been on here saying the NBA ain't fixed for like a couple of years, pretty much. And I appreciate your banter. But you want to see if I'm right. See, somewhere deep down inside, you know the NBA is fixed. Or you wouldn't even be here. You wouldn't be like, shoot, I just want to see if he's right. You wouldn't do that. If you wholeheartedly believe that the NBA wasn't fixed, you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't put up with this. Like, get out. This guy's always talking about, you wouldn't try to prove me wrong. That's just like somebody trying to change somebody else's religion. It's very hard to do. That's not what you're here for. You're not trying to talk sense into me. Well, they have to lose to the Thunder at least 3 games. They'll win the series, though. See, you're not here to talk sense into me. Most of the time that you're here, you're going off on people. Talking about their moms. A lot of stuff you say does not make logical sense to make sense. It's not something that builds sense. A lot of it shows a very erratic behavior because you really get off on getting a rise out of people. You're not here to talk sense into anyone. You don't come here to talk sense into people. That's not what you do. You come here to rile up people in any shape, form that you can and threaten their lives. Sometimes you start off with a threat. You and Mikey James are like, homeboy enemies. It has nothing to do with being perfect, but you're not here to talk sense. You're here to get a rise out of anyone and everyone that you can. You would rather this live be just jumping with arguments right now instead of talking some sense. But I enjoy some of the things you say. I do. Because there's always a yin and a yang. And you actually know something about the sport. You know way more than I do. So, if you were just on here jaw-jacking, that'd be one thing. But you bring up a lot of valid points. You just have a weird way of doing it. The way they use LeBron to make billions, they use Mayweather. Oh my God. No doubt about it. No, I'm here to be entertaining and help you guys. Well, entertaining is one thing. Helping us, that's a whole nother subject. But yes, Mayweather is the LeBron of boxing. And he knows it. I'm not your boy. I may be your friend on YouTube, but I'm not your boy, that's for sure. Yeah. Yeah. Mayweather, to me, is not the best boxer out there. Look. Okay. What up, dog? What up with you dudes? What's up with you? What up with you, James? What's up with you? What you doing, fool? What happening? Anyway, no, I didn't mean to call you fool. But Mayweather has been beaten by CompuBox. But they still gave it to Mayweather. Well, calling a black man boy is a racial slur. If you're not black. Okay, James. Glad you off. Glad you made it off safely. Chilling at home. Got yourself a brewski. You know what I'm saying? Got the wife and kids chilling. That's what's up. Boy is a term that they use for slaves. So calling somebody a boy over here, a black man, a boy, not a good idea. Cavs all day. Yeah, Mayweather's good though. I mean, he's good. But, I watched a couple of his fights and I'm just like, you watched the fighter. Who was that fighter that punched him in the face? And then he turns around and punches him right back in the face because the dude had his arms wide open like this. And Mayweather just punched him right in the grill. I forgot who that fighter was. And I was like, oh, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, get out of here. I'm a Cavs fan. Are you still here, Vane? Wait a minute. You want to explain yourself, Faney? You want to explain that statement, Faney? How you going to be a Cavs fan and don't believe that they're going to win? You're not a Cavs fan and say that. You're a LeBron fan. You can call whoever you want, boy. Just don't call me, boy. Anyways, we're going to get off of that. Right, they. Yeah, Fanny, you a LeBron fan. You're not a Cavs fan. If LeBron goes and plays for Philadelphia Eagles, you gonna be a LeBron fan. Like, get out of here, Fanny. Fanny. You're not a Cleveland fan, Fanny. Try to say that fast 3 times. You're a fair weather fan, Fanny. You fair weather fanning. That's what you're doing right now. I wouldn't be hiding. I wouldn't be hiding nowhere. Probably. He probably does have it out for Floyd. You're not going to give me nothing because I don't care. Yeah. All right, Fanny, I got a question for you since you're the head of the LeBron James fan club. What up, Ray? I see you back, big dog. Fanny, I got a question for you. How many championships do you think that LeBron is going to win? Since you are LeBron, you're not a Cleveland fan. You're a LeBron fan. So how many championships do you think LeBron is going to win? Not Cleveland. All right? LeBron. Fairweather Fanny. That's some good potato. I should have put a little bit of, I could have sauced it up. I ain't sauced it up. I still got some though. I got a whole pan full of them. I might sauce them up. I got some garlic sauce with the, I might sauce that up. Sauce up the potatoes. Have it in the morning with some pancakes. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all hear me though. Yeah, Fanny, what's up? He will lose this year, then three-peat, then retire. Oh, no, he won't. Going to New York. I always said he was going to go to New York. After the season, LeBron doesn't make the finals this year. He definitely three-peating in New York. Okay, so for LeBron, wait a minute. I think he's going to find a way to pass MJ and win more rings. All right, now see, now you making sense, Fanny. Now bring it on home. Fanny. Where's he gonna win his next? He's got 4 to win, according to you. Because Jordan got 6. LeBron's got 3 right now. Fanny, where is LeBron going to win his next 4 rings? Where? Educate us. Because some people on here just think he's going 3-peat and be out. If he 3-peats and be out, then he's not going to, he's not going to be the GOAT. Saytone, did you hear about the white firefighter spitting on a 3-year-old black toddler? And no, I didn't. No, Lakers, James, stop it. No, James, I did not hear about that. My friend is a firefighter. They're a little bit nuts, too. I mean, he's cool. Yeah, I understood Hooters. I didn't hear about that. Maybe he'll go to New York. Yeah, I think he's going to go to either New York or the Sixers, but it'd probably be better if he wants to get those rings immediately, he'd go to the Sixers. But I keep saying he's going to go to New York. I've been saying that for years. Wow, in Kansas. I used to live in Kansas. Lakers, they have a young team. Why would he go to the Lakers? LeBron is going to Philly. He's either going to Philly or New York. Everybody believes that. I've been saying it for 2 years now. LeBron's going to go to New York. Well, James, do you want to talk about that real quick, or do you? If you want to talk about that, I'll speak on it. I will go and look it up real quick and then tell you guys what I think about it. You know what I'm saying? So let me know if you want me to speak on that. because I don't know the story and it's probably on World Star, so I'd probably look it up and find out exactly what happened according to, and then, give you my opinion. So, all right, so hold on a second, you guys. Fanny, this is what I'm talking about. If you have something you want to talk about, then I will go ahead and look it up real quick. So, all right. Here. 3-year-old. All right. Hooters. All right. All right. It says Kansas City firefighter has been reinstated, but his N-word rant. Oh, I heard about this guy saying the N-word. Hooter was worse than you know. He's been reinstated, though. Kansas City. Charged with spitting on a 3-year-old in Overland Park Hooters and calling the child he's really got wow. He got his job back. His lawyer said, and slur, mind you, but to report his family. The manager checked him out instead of the firefighter, or kicked him out instead of the firefighter. And while Mitchell stayed behind and settled up, the rest of the party fled in fear. Wow. Without even pausing to grab their untouched birthday cake, despite having done nothing wrong. So, okay. All right, let me read some more. I'm not going to read the whole thing. At first, it seems that the story is one man, a 42-year-old, first responded to Terrence Ken, a 15 years old, veteran Kansas City firefighter. Keen much admired calling in life and theory in a way involving putting his life on the line for Kansas City citizens who needs his help. Yet he was charged with behavior befitting a 15-year-old, befitting such a straight-up racist that had raged and spit on a little kid. Keen's lawyer said, Tom Baff said that his client said the story that will all come out in the trial, but his pleading not guilty and is back on the job after being suspended. You guys, I'm not even sure that I want to read the rest of this. It was clear that he spit on the child, but then to say not guilty. But you know what really gets me is they made them pay through the police. See, what really gets me is Hooters, for what we're seeing, yeah. The way I'm looking at it is you spit on a 3-year-old. You threaten to shoot a 3-year-old. And then you claim not guilty. And you clearly assaulted a 3-year-old and threatened to kill a 3-year-old. But you're not guilty. And then you're back on the job. And then Hooters calls the police on the family, and it said that they fled. Now, that just goes to show you what day and age we live in. They fled from the police. See, the police are not your friends. They're just not. When the police are called on black people, just like in the Starbucks a couple weeks ago, those guys did absolutely nothing. What happened? They were arrested. Okay? The police had a propensity to arrest and or shoot or maim black people in an instant. They are hostile. He threatened to kill the grandpa. He's the one with the gun, but yet the black people are fleeing for their lives. Like, black people, don't get it twisted. We are not free here in America. We're not free to do what we want. When somebody calls the police on us, you're looking at one of us dying. the chances of somebody losing their life is great. And that's just it. And it could be for something stupid. And the people who are calling the police know this. Like, I had some people call the police on me, and I was sitting outside playing my guitar. Next thing you know, 5 cop cars swooped up, blocked off the whole corner. And I was looking at the cars like, and then they got up. They wasn't even sure it was me. It was crazy. And they pointed at me, and I'm sitting there with the guitar on my stoop. And they walked up to me and said, we had a report that there's a man sitting out here with a gun. He was dressed like you. And I said, well, I have a guitar. And they said, do you mind if we search you? Yeah. And so they searched me. And then they all jumped in their car and rode away. That person was hoping that I either got shot and killed or I was going to be placed in jail. No one is free in America. We slaves. You better believe it. People in my country can get killed for their gold chain and other material. And that's people anywhere. You wearing a gold chain out here, it's going to get snatched. I don't know why people go out and spend all this money on gold chains. LL Cool J had his gold chain, Big Cuban Links. He had that taken. There's a lot of these rappers who get their gold chain snatched. Home of the slaves all day. The police can roll up, cameras on, show every action, and shoot a citizen doing absolutely nothing, and automatically there'll be a smear campaign about this 90-year-old grandma standing there doing absolutely nothing. Like, they've done this last year. This woman called the police on her son, black woman. She opens the door, the police shot and killed this woman. She had no gun. She made no move towards them. Nothing. And they got away with it. Yeah. I saw that. I recently saw that. I didn't know you guys like stories like that, or I would cover some of those. Nah, I give it another year, we'll be out martial law. I know 6 police officers showed up, and then they told the dude his it was for LA Fitness. They was like, you're no longer welcome here. They tried to get him to stop recording it. You know, when police tell you that you can't record them, be like, you're a public servant. Yes, I can record you. They hate being recorded because they're corrupt. They are crooked. And, you know, I tried to have some kind of faith in the police department. But when you look at the police department, I have no faith in the police department. I have none. Like, I wish the police were doing just their jobs, but they're so corrupt. You don't know who's good and who's bad. It's like, damn, you just don't know. Like, okay, let's just take the fact that the police can roll up on you, start an argument with you. You've done nothing. They can stop you in your car, start an argument with you, order you to get out of your car. And if you don't, they break your windows and drag you out of your car, put you in handcuffs, and then charge you with something. You're doing nothing. Yeah, no rights. You're doing nothing. They can just roll up on you and just, hey, how you doing? I'm fine. Can I help? Like, what did I do wrong? Did I say you did something wrong? Well, obviously you stopped me. Well, you seem kind of nervous. Why don't you step out of the car? No, I would like to stay in the car for my safety. I'm ordering you to get out the car. No, I have my rights to stay in the car, and I've done absolutely nothing wrong. Can you tell me why you stopped me? If you don't get out the car, I'm going to break your windows and drag you out the car. I've done nothing wrong. Why do you want me to get a clean, boom? Next thing you know, you're on the ground. No, it just doesn't work like that. You can't always sue the police. It just doesn't. The lawyers are on their side too. Yeah, no cause. Next thing you know, you're on the ground. He calls his friends. You got 5 police trying to put handcuffs on you. They killed a man doing that before. They suffocated him. And then they act like they're the ones who went through something, and this man is dead. They just completely suffocated this man, and they were trying to put 2 sets of handcuffs on him and act like it was this big operation. 2 sets of freaking handcuffs, 6 guys on this guy, and they crushed him. I've seen that happen a few times. They crushed this dude. Next thing you know, he's dead, and they're just like, yeah, he's dead. Yeah, how's Susan doing? She's great, man. How's Margie? She's great. Just dead. You just murdered a man, and it's nothing anymore. You know what I'm saying? And if you do live, they throw you in the back of the car, then they take your vehicle and they take it to the pound, right? When your vehicle gets towed, they charge you $77 a day. So let's get this straight. You're just driving, you've done nothing. You get dragged out of your car, your window's broken, your car gets taken to the pound, you get charged with disorderly conduct, assault on a police officer, and every other trumped up charge. You get over indicted. You go to jail for 7 days before your case is even heard. And your car is in the pound for 7 days. Most people don't have $400 or $500 to just go and throw down and get their car out. Plus your car is damaged. You can't even drive it now. So that's another, $300 to fix your windows and everything else that's wrong with it. It's just crazy. And that's how they make their money. And if you got a nice car, they'll actually go and strip it. They'll take the radio and stuff out of it. And what happens with most people who don't have $1,000 just laying around, they take that car and then they auction it off. You just lost your car. That's a corrupt system. Like just that system alone is a corrupt system. There's no way you should be able to take my vehicle from me and take it to the pound and then charge me when you took my vehicle. So I have no, I just can't. I just can't. Yeah. It's best you just drive, you have a bike or something. You know what I'm really liking? These bikes that are self-propelling. And some of these bikes can do like 70, 80 miles an hour. I'm really digging that because it doesn't take, it's all human energy. And a lot of these bikes are enclosed. So if you're out in the rain, you're not getting rained on. There's just like this little thing that's enclosed and, it's just somebody, and you're not sitting on it like this. You're sitting back on it and you're pedaling and this generated speed just, it hits 70, 80 miles an hour. These things are dope. I like that. I don't listen. If people try to come together and change the judicial system, there will be war. Guidance. Nope. I don't know about that. I think the people who can, listen, I think the people like us, Fanny, like the everyday people, I think the people who realize that the system is so messed up and that they can do what they want to us whenever they want to us, all we can do is a lot of praying and a lot of self-preservation. Prepare ourselves the best way we can because we don't know when they're going to knock on our door and take us. Because they're doing that out here. They're barging into people's homes, claiming that they're these big drug dealers and whatnot. And I mean, they're doing that. They're doing raids on grandmothers. Dude, that's what they're doing here in America. It's just you don't get a knock at your door. They're just raiding you. And they're grabbing these teenagers who are riding bikes. I mean, his teenagers riding his bike down the street. 6 officers show up at his house And instead of giving the kid a ticket, which is what you should, it's a ticketable offense. It's not arrestable. They're just like, we're going to arrest him. It's like, this kid is 16. What did he do? He rode his bike past the speed limit on his, okay, give him a ticket. No, we're taking him to jail. Like, no, you're not. Yes, we are. And next thing you know, there's a whole group of police like, we're taking your kid to jail because of the quota. I can't do it with the police. I just can't. I can't look at the police at all. And what race is that? So wait a minute. Do you guys have a lot of Europeans in your country? That's who's corrupting your country. Huh. Well, I'm going to learn some more about your country because you seem kind of cool. I don't know. You might not be cool. But you seem kind of cool. But I don't know. You might be hiding your coolness. Your coolness might be a smoke screen. I'm going to have to talk to your dad and see if you're cool. Because you might be just cool for like a couple hours when you're online with me, and then you're not cool. And I can't be doing all this research just to try to keep up with somebody who's not cool, but only cool when they're on here. And Indians, what kind of Indians? It's not Europeans, it's the rich. Well, it ain't the rich black people. It's the Jews. Anyway, so if you're cool, I might research your country just so I can be able to speak, the lingo. But yeah, the rich, but it ain't the rich. Okay, so when you differentiate the rich from the poor, if I was a multi-millionaire, do you think the police couldn't roll up to my house and take everything that I have? Say that they're arresting me for tax evasion, take all of my stuff, put me in jail, and then have tell me I need one of these lawyers who charges me $800 a minute to siphon my account. Yeah, for real, to siphon my account. And then when it's all over, it wasn't true at all. But yet it cost me $10 million just for them to do all that I paid to the court system. I paid to the lawyers. I paid to everybody else who had something to do with the system. I mean, do you think that if I was a multimillionaire that couldn't happen? Do you think that? Because if that's what you think, you'd be sorely mistaken. Just ask Jermaine Dupri. Because that's exactly what happened to him. They just rode up to his house. The government did this. Said they invaded his house because of tax evasion. Took his stuff, put him in jail, made him pay all this money to these phony lawyers. Yeah. Jordan owns the Pistons? Oh, no, that's a different Michael Jordan. The prisons. That's a different Michael Jordan. That's not the same Michael Jordan. I looked into that story. that's a different type of black woman. Oh, don't believe they won't do it to MJ. Yeah, and what he said, he ain't said nothing worth anything either. But that's not the Michael Jordan who has bought the jail. That's a white guy. And as far as Oprah Winfrey is concerned, Oprah Winfrey, let's just put it to you like this. I don't identify with Oprah Winfrey. I know she's from Chicago and all this. Yeah, I don't look at Oprah Winfrey as one of my people. I don't. I listen to her, talk about God and the stuff she believes. I don't care how many things she gives away. She's highly influential, but she's highly dangerous. Let's look at how influential Oprah Winfrey really is. Oprah Winfrey. I don't know if she's letting them get raped, but that's probably something she can't stop. But I don't think that she's. Well, you would be right. You would be right. Thing. So let's look at what Oprah Winfrey did. Oprah Winfrey, when her show was popping, she said that she doesn't eat meat or something. She stopped eating hamburger. When she said this, the stock market went in flux on the sale of cows. Just because she said that. Well, what did you want her to do about it? Oprah doesn't have an army. She doesn't. She's a show host. That's what she is. Oh, the Pizzagate. Oh, yeah, the Pizzagate people. Bunch of pedophiles. Those people are dangerous, man. Just like the spirit cooking people. Those people are, like, seriously dangerous. I mean, those people on a level of wickedness that is just, I mean, it's wicked. This is like, you people are plotting and scheming to. Well, what did you want her to do? I'm not asking you this in a condescending way. I'm not saying what you wanted her to do. I'm asking what could you have seen her do? Because anything she does gets scrutinized. Anything she does is lit up in the public eye. Anything. That's called the Oprah effect. This is why when people went on her show and Oprah would endorse one of their products, the Oprah effect of that product would sell through the roof and then it would fall down, crashing. And a lot of companies went out of business because of the Oprah effect. It's not always good that Oprah endorses something by you. Because if you're not ready, I used to watch a lot of Shark Tank. If you're not ready for the sales, then it's all bad. And then once you do have an uptick in sales and you get all these personnel to help you with all these orders, a year later, nobody is buying your product anymore. So my question is, what did you want her to do? Well, imagine, if you will, Oprah gets involved. She hires a militia or a security team to go over there. This is what I mean, Tone. People she was paying that was supposed to be teaching the kids and protecting them, the ones raping them, and she didn't. Okay, so I believe that 100%. And in that instant, what do? Did she know that this was going to happen? Because I'm not defending her. I'm just trying to figure out, what can we do? Like, if we had the money, like, what could we? I mean, it's just like, what can you do? See, I just think there's so much. A 17-year-old boy raped a 1-year-old baby in my country. That's very sad and disgusting. You guys really want to go down this path? Because there's so much going on in these different countries that America doesn't understand because of our laws, and that is so heinous and criminal. See, a lot of these instances are done by people who have been doing this stuff. They're criminals. That's what they do. And when we hear it, we think it just happened and some random person just did this. No, these people been doing this stuff. Yeah, and it happens everywhere. Oh, okay. If you look at some of these wars that's been breaking out in these different countries, and one of them in one of the countries in Africa, where these soldiers, went to each village and killed off all the parents. So when they did this in these villages, the kids would march to another village trying to seek out some type of adults so they can live. And while they were doing this, the hyenas would catch them and kill and eat the kids. And they would sometimes take the girls as young as 2 years old on purpose. They were looking for girls 2 years old because they said it was good luck if you had sex with them. That right there is on some evil, devilish, spiritual, like that. That's what I'm saying. Like that, something like that. Like this is not a new thing. This is not a random guy, just a good citizen. Like, this is somebody who has been taught that sleeping, like having sex with a 2-year-old is good luck. This is a man with an AK-47 in his hand, running around, killing and cutting up people. Like, that's what I'm saying. Going down this is a heavy, heavy road to go down, because a lot of this people just ain't going to understand. This is the way of life for people. This is not a normal civilized atmosphere that we're talking about. We're talking about a very harsh and hot-tempered atmosphere where people are dying. Like, look, there were so many people that died in Rwanda that they were driving over people's bodies. Like, I had a teacher in college years ago. She was in Africa, and she said she would come outside and there would be people burning in front of her. And she would just step right over the bodies or right past the body, and she would go on to the store. It was a normal thing to see people dead burning in the street. Like you got to understand that civilization is not so civilized. Yeah, Aleister Crowley, and this is the reason why I don't pay no mind to Jay-Z, because he used to wear an Aleister Crowley shirt, said, "Do it thou willeth." Well, you got to understand this has nothing to do with the end of days. This is the way these people always been. Yeah, like sleep, having sex with a 2-year-old is good luck to them. When I look at a 2-year-old, I think, hey, you want a piece of candy? Go play some damn where. Here's some candy, kid. Get out of my face. Well, no, say to a 2-year-old. But to look at a 2-year-old in a sexual way, the beginning of that mind state, and then say it's a spiritual thing, you talking about a whole different animal here. This is a whole different animal. It has nothing to do with civilization. It has nothing to do with the end of times. These people are trained to believe this. And so they go on binges where they take their guns and get in their trucks, and they're armed by the Dutch. The Dutch people arm these guerrillas, gangsters, and they go out and find these villages full of people, take the men and cut off their lips. And they take the albino women and cut off their arms because the albinos are good luck to them. That's what they do to albino women. Take them and cut their legs off and cut their arms because it's good luck. Like, this is not something that's just brand new. They've been doing this. Snatch up 2-year-olds and they're just like, yeah, I got a 2-year-old. I'm about to have sex with this 2-year-old. Instead of us, I'm about to protect this 2-year-old with my life. No, I'm about to take this 2-year-old and rape this 2-year-old. And one girl she was doing a story. She was talking about when they captured her and how all of them would gang rape her every day. She's like, I've been with them for years. They would just come and just take turns on her every day. And she's just used to it. Like, how do you get used to that? And she was talking like it was nothing. Because she knows if she flinched the wrong way, they were going to take a knife and cut her up into many pieces. Maybe you guys need to look at Idi Amin and see what kind of a monster he was. Like, this is a normal thing in some of these countries. And even over here, a lot of this is happening. They just found a woman in New York cut up into pieces. They found her head in one place, her torso somewhere else, and the police said this wasn't done in the New York, like where she was found. Somebody took this woman, cut her up, and then placed her all over the park in New York so the police can find her dismembered. Like, it's serious. Some of these kids that run away on purpose, run away from home, some of these little girls running away. Like, every time I hear about that, my first reaction is to think she's never coming home. She's not. Then you hear about these girls who getting these sex rings. Like, people think that these sex rings are happening in some third world country. That's happening right here. That's happening right here. These girls are getting coerced. Sometimes they'll get into the wrong person's car. Like, one girl said this guy pulled up to her and was like, hey, you want to ride? She was 14. Guy took her to some place, and 30 guys ran through her, and this guy was making money off her. Held her there all day and then finally let her go. So he made thousands and thousands of dollars on this girl. And then when the police found out, they charged the girl for prostitution. Police know about all this stuff. They charged the girl for prostitution. She was just trying to get a ride home. I'm just saying, it's wild out here. Like, this stuff is going on right here in America. You know, and a lot of these groups that these higher ups belong to, they're in on it. They know all about it. The police know all about it. They know about it. They're not going to stop some of these things that are happening. They're not going to, you know, and people think, oh, these are just the worst of the worst people. No, a lot of them are people who are in high positions. The Chandra Levy case. Look that up. What that governor did with, he was a senator. Look up the Chandra Levy case. Blow your whole head. Just like, wait, what happened? I'm telling you, it's wild out here. They doing wild stuff out here. Like, kids are a commodity. A commodity, especially if it's a female. This is happening here in America. This is not in some third world country. This is here where these people are doing it, and we see these people every day. And some of them we know that too. But a lot of times they're not even looking for virgins. They just want you to be a particular. Okay, what happened with the earthquake that struck Haiti? The earthquake that struck Haiti, right? Come to find out that it was a Christian group. A Christian group of what they were doing was, you know, they go around telling people about Christ. I don't have an issue with that. But what they were doing was they were trafficking little black girls and bringing them over to the States. That's what they were doing. And it didn't get found out until the earthquake happened. Then they found out who these people were and what they were doing. They had a regular trafficking ring going on. And these little girls were a commodity. Now, some of them were sold as slaves here in America, still right now today. Some of them were sold as house slaves. And nobody knew that these rich white people had a black little 7, 8-year-old slave. That's what they were. They would hide them in a closet. Their bedroom was a little ass closet because you couldn't let them have a regular bedroom. They'd be like, where's the little black girl come from? And please don't think that the white man wasn't knocking these little kids off. It's exactly what they were doing. That was happening here. Dick Wolf got a hold of that story and did a thing on it. Look that up. Yeah, they're doing it right here. These cats are doing it right here. One of the biggest rings comes out of England. And what they're doing is they're snatching people out of Nigeria. These girls out of Nigeria. And so what happened is they found out that there was so many white men from England and France and America going over there to Nigeria to knock off these 10, 11-year-old girls that these nuns got involved and built a shelter for them. And were just like, yo, chill over here. But they can't stop it because no, from Nigeria. From Haiti too. But I know because I know somebody from Nigeria, and they was telling me, plus I had this in one of my classes, we were studying this. But I mean, it's a huge sex trafficking ring out of Nigeria. Huge, huge. And they can't stop that. And these are kids. These are 8, 9-year-old kids. They can't stop it. Yeah, those are two different stories I was talking about, James. They're not stopping that. And I'm going to tell you why they're not stopping it. In the world, it'll never stop. It'll never, ever stop. Big money. It'll never, ever stop. They'll never stop sex trafficking. Ever. Well, Fame, yeah, they're sick, but they're not doing it because they have a mental issue. Yeah, but they're not doing it, Fame, because they have a mental issue. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to realize. There's like, if you talk to some of these people, you would never guess that their mental capacity is off because they want to have sex with a 6-year-old. They talk to you just as, like anybody else. You'd think this person is in their full right mental. That's not what's going on. There's a whole spiritual thing behind it. It's a whole spiritual battle behind it. And it's heavy. And if you don't realize what's going on, it will snatch you up if you get around it. Yeah, it's heavy what's happening to these people and what they allow happen to them. And to them, they think it's okay. So this is not a sickness per se, like a mental illness. It's a spiritual illness. And that's why it's so big. A mental illness is different. You can take some pills and stuff, but a spiritual illness where you're allowing the spirit to tell you that this is okay, that's a whole different program. That's a whole different monster right there. Yeah, this is not something where a psychiatrist can talk you out of this. Most pedophiles aren't sick in the head. They believe that what they're doing is correct. They have a spiritual sickness. And they can back it up. They can articulate their words just as well as anybody else. Just as well. And they're brilliant. Because they know how to go after what they want. And then when they get caught, they know how to fight it in court. They just had a guy walk out of jail who did this. Walked right out of jail. Free. And you can't charge him again. Think it was a mistrial. That's it. Yeah, these people they're spiritually sick. And I'm going to tell you something else that's crazy. And you definitely ain't going like this. The mothers and the fathers are well aware of what's going on. Okay, so if you look at let's take the wider scope of what's happening. You look at a country, all the powerful first world countries, they're all ran by the Europeans. Every country pretty much is ran by the Europeans in some kind of way. Either the country is prospering or the country is in a depression because of the banking systems. If the banking systems wanted to topple our country, 9/11 would happen again. That's exactly what they did. They crushed. Yeah, I don't blame you. But the banking systems, in 9/11, they toppled the country's economic system. And what happened? There had to be all these bailouts and, all this other stuff. And billions and trillions of dollars had to be utilized through the company AIG. This was no accident. 9/11 was no accident. The banking systems did that, and they used the false narrative of Al-Qaeda to get it, through. But when you look at the wider scope of things, you look at the countries that are running things, like what they told, wasn't Nigeria, it was, it wasn't Trinidad Tobago, it was dog, small island country. But basically, they were looking for a drug dealer, huge drug dealer, and because the country is poor, it's black people that are poor, and they really wanted this drug dealer. So what they told the politicians is because the politicians did, the politicians didn't want to turn this guy over because they were in his pockets. Not to mention, this was a guy who was protecting the poor people in his area, and a lot of them don't have food. He was giving these kids food. So he was building up his own army by being a drug dealer and then, helping out the people where he lived. And so the police eventually came after him. And of course, when they came after him, there was a big war on the streets, and he was winning the war. So America was just like, you either give us this guy or we're going to cut your visa off. That was it. They went in with the army and grabbed this guy. Like, we're going to tear this whole place down to get you. Because when America starts cutting off your visa, this means, I don't blame you. This means that when they cut off your visa, this means that they are no longer going to accept your imports and exports, which means they can starve your country out. They can depress your country and not give you any medical aid. They can start a civil war in your country and just watch you just eat each other up. And just completely Easter Island, just watch everything, and no one will give you any help. Please send aid. No, we're not going to do it because you didn't want to do what we want to. America is good for that. Not only that, America, but other countries that are first world countries are good for, blockades and stuff like that. This is what the Strait of Hormuz was about. When Ahmadinejad went over there, he tried a blockade at the Strait of Hormuz. Well, if you try to block the Strait of Hormuz, this is where we get a large amount of our petroleum from. You know what I'm saying? So what do? We sent ships over there to the Strait of Hormuz. And that's it. You either cut this out or we're going to blow you up. So you guys got to understand that the span of control that the European countries have, it's dilapidating some of these countries, and then they're doing it on purpose. And then these same Europeans who make up these laws about sex and who you can't sleep with and what age are the same men going into these countries that they have depressed and dilapidated. This is why when you're looking into Nigeria and stuff like that, now they have slaves. There's a whole slave trade Libya and stuff like that. There's a whole slave trade going on, and everyone knows about it. You think that they're only trading men slaves? You don't think they're trading children slaves and then, openly having, sexual relationships with them? And then you got the parents, when you're looking at the small scale of things, then you have the parents who have, these daughters, and then these men come to their door and say, you either give us your daughter or we're going to kill all of you, and or you're not going to be able to, eat. We're going to make sure you starve. Or they don't come to their door and they take the child and they sell the child because they're starving. These people who are into slavery right now, they're going into slavery willingly because there's nothing else there. So you got these Libyans going at it with these other African nations, and they're burning them and doing all kind of heinous stuff to them, and they're slaves, open slavery. It's a whole slave trafficking system. And who's going to do what about it? America? America and Europeans are the ones who collapsed your country. So whatever sense of currency that they're using is no good. It's no good. We no longer want to trade with you. We are no longer going to send aid. We are going to block you guys off and make it so bad. Africa has more rich minerals than pretty much any other continent. They have more gold than anything. The dollar is not even like the euro is worth more than the dollar. Like the dollar is not even worth that much, but nonetheless, if you don't play by our rules, then we're going to starve your country out. And we're going to take your children and do what we want with them. And we're going to do it in front of you. And I don't mean like you're going to see it on TV. Like, no, we're going to do all of this stuff right in front of your face. And what are you going to do about it? Nothing. Not a damn thing. Now that's the devil. That's the devil. And none of those people are going to get away with it. They'll just get by. But that is evil. That's pure evil. So, like I said, I don't know if Fanny is still here. Oh, yeah, she is. Yeah, it sounds like the world's coming to an end, Fanny. But this is what you're dealing with. This is why your country is having problems. This is why your government is corrupt. Because of the English, the Americans, the French, the Dutch, that all conquered Africa and all nations, the Spaniards, they still have control. And they use this control to keep your country in a third, fourth, fifth world state, even though that they claim that they're the good Samaritans. They're the ones who are the white knights. They're the ones who are the holy, of holies. And we're here. We're the good guys. No, you're the one who sucked all the resources out of my country and then left us here to starve and fight amongst each other. You're the one who took our country's land and didn't give it back to us. You're the one who did this. And then when these earthquakes happen and you send aid and you act like you're the good person. No, you're not the good guy. A lot of our buildings fell. I mean, yeah, because this earthquake was crazy. But a lot of our buildings were made out of huts. They weren't properly built because we can't afford it because, you hold all the cards. If we don't give you something, then you'll go ahead and you'll cut off trade with us, things that we need. And if we start trading with another country, you'll threaten that country and then they'll also cut us off. So we're left on our own. And what even makes it worse, you'll then come into our country and then you'll start killing us in heinous and blatant ways, like giving us diseases that, Black people never had. Now all of a sudden there's a disease that's running rampant and we can't stop the disease from killing us. Now we need aid. But you won't give us aid. And if you do, it'll be sparse. It won't be the aid to cure us. It'll be the aid to keep us sick but alive. And it'll be an example of what not to do. Do not tell us no, or you're going to watch all of you die sick and slowly. It's not going to be a quick death. You're going to watch your 2-month-old suffer and die slowly. And there's not going to be a damn thing that you can do about it. That's what's happening. This is why these children are in trouble. This is why you have to run around in groups in order to go from just to the damn store. This is why Black people in America are being shot in the face. And everybody is thinking, that guy was a criminal, he deserved it. No. This is why prayer is important. This is why being on the right side of the Bible is important. This is why a 17-year-old little girl who is looking to go and take her exams should not be worried about going outside and getting tackled by some strangers and just murdered. You know, she should be concentrating on her exams. She should have a bright future ahead of her. She should be worried about some little boy she's chasing around, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, having dreams of being a princess, and this is her little king. This is what she should be doing. But that's not what she does. She has to go outside with a bunch of other people just to make it hard not to get it. You know who else does that? Animals. Animals do that, especially animals in Africa. The ones who are preyed upon constantly. Antelopes and all those animals, they do that. They run in groups. You guys are doing the same thing. And the reason why is because one of them is going to get eaten on that day, you know, and you guys are just hoping one of you aren't the ones who are going to get, you know, it's a damn shame. And that's what it turns us back into, animals. It turns us back into a state of being that is primal, you know. That's what you're doing. They treat you like animals, you act like it. I'm sorry I went on a tangent. I just see a lot because I look at a lot of, you know, some of the news and stuff, and it just, so I always tell you guys, God loves you, man. Like, call on the Lord. You got friends in high places. If you don't exercise your right to call on God, then, you know, you're just going to be preyed upon with no help. But if you call on the Lord, He will answer you. He will protect you. You know, He will remove a lot of these situations from you. You know, heck, you might even see Him deliver you physically, because God does stuff like that. You know, He might just be sick and tired of somebody messing with you and saying, you know what, this person should be able to do what they want. And I'm about sick of you running around here just trying to kill people. So I'm going to tell these 2 bears to come into your neighborhood and eat about 40 of you. That really did happen. Really. And there were a bunch of kids that were getting on one of the prophet's nerves. So God was like, yeah, I'm tired of you little brats. So I'm going to have a bear or 2 come and eat 40 of you. And that's exactly what happened. It's in the Bible. God does stuff like that. Yeah, I think I'm going to have a bunch of snakes just come out of nowhere and just bite all of you. About 250,000 of you. Yeah, I think the ground is going to open up and just swallow a bunch of you. I'm about tired of you complaining and praying to a false idol. I told you not to do that. So you guys are going to die today. That really did happen. So I'm just saying, like, it's not like the Lord is just sitting up on a mountain and not paying you no mind. Call on God. Like right now, like out loud. You know? You know, some of these people that don't believe in God, you know, God will hit them with a lightning bolt to the face. I mean, when you look in the Bible, you see all kinds of stories where God was just like, I'm kind of tired of you people trying to put Abraham, Meshach, and Abednego in a fire. So I'm going to let you put them in a fire. That's exactly what they did. They put them in a fire, and then they turned the fire up, and then they threw coals and stuff to burn real hot, and the fire was just, and Abraham, Meshach, and Abednego was standing there looking at them. And they were just like, why aren't they on fire? And then they said, who's the other guy standing in there? God. They weren't on fire because God wasn't having it. But they built the fire so doggone hot that the flames came out and burnt the actual people and killed them that was trying to set them on fire. Like, don't think that that's just some story. Like, God gets down like that. Like, oh, it's like that? Oh, you just going to run up in here with AK-47? All right, well, I'm going to have all of them backfire. Your weapon is right here. It's your frequency. That's what your voice is. Call upon the name of the Lord. Use a frequency. I could get deep into that, but I don't think you guys want to do that. Lift your voice unto the Lord. There's a reason why God says that. And like I said, I'm not going to get too deep into that. You know, it's late. But if you guys ever want to talk about that, you know, the frequency of your voice and how it relates to God, then, you know, I'll dip into that one of these days. But if you ever want to pray about something too, any of you, let me know. And I'll go ahead and pray with you guys. Lord bless all of y'all. His hand on you. The angels of the Lord bless all of y'all. I'm going to go ahead and go now. Fang, you hang in there, young lady. LeBron fan. LeBron. You're not a Cleveland fan. You're a LeBron fan. God loves all of you, and so do I. Good night.